Hello, my name's Tim Mulrooney. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Environmental, Earth, and Geospatial Sciences at North Carolina Central University. I'm going to be talking about this NSF opportunity named Growing Geoscience Enrollment Through Academic Partnerships, which is a collaboration between NCCU, Alamance Community College, and Carteret Community College to proliferate and fund experiences for geoscience majors at community colleges matriculating to North Carolina Central University. I'm recording this in December 2020. So when we talk about geoscience, basically geoscience is the study of earth sciences to include geography, geology, meteorology, climatology, and environmental science. And I've just kind of captured some pictures here that talk about what entails and elicits the study of the geosciences that are covered within the Department of Environmental, Earth, and Geospatial Sciences at North Carolina Central University in Durham, North Carolina. So you can see environmental science is the study of man's impact on the earth. Geoscience is the study of geology, climatology, um, oceanography, and then geography is the science and the study of where phenomena are located. And we're going to talk about applications of each of these throughout our talk here. You can see some of these applications where we map parcels in Alamance County. We map food deserts. We give presentations. This is a picture taken from an infrared camera. Here we're doing some field work right here where we're marking roads, looking at sections of road from data provided by the North Carolina Department of Transportation. So it can entail a lot of different things. And when we talk about job opportunities, it entails a lot of different skills where you need technical knowledge, which this is going to cover. This was a neat picture. I visited Alamance Community College in early 2020 before the pandemic struck, and we flew a drone, and this is what we call a DSM, Digital Surface Model, and these are elevations taken from the drone because we went and took pictures. This is a composite image of Alamance Community College, and this is probably about 15 or 20 different images that we took and that were seamed together. And so you can see the actual elevations with trees and whatnot. And then we can compare it to, this is called the digital elevation model. This is what the actual land looks like with elevations where higher elevations here in blue, lower elevations here as you go towards the Haw River. And so we can look at water flow and things like that that elicit natural processes. Another example is over here in Burlington where Alamance Community College is located, we have a crime analysis unit. And we can just make a map of community crime. And we can look at where they're higher, where they're lower, what types of crimes that are going to be located in Burlington. And we can do studies on those. When we talk about this particular program, one of the reasons why we applied for the funding through the NSF was that there was a low visibility of geoscience majors. Typically what we call in our school geography, geoscience, environmental science, they're called discovery majors, meaning that once students take them, they get interested in them, but they're typically not interested in them during high school. We also see a lack of mentors and general feeling of not fitting into geoscience culture, and typically there's lack of experiences outside of the classroom. So our grant opportunities for Carteret Community College and Alamance Community College really look to address the critical need for traditionally underrepresented students in the geosciences and to provide pathways from associate's degrees, your AA or your AS, to a four-year BS program in our BS program entitled Geoscience and Environmental Science. And then we also have a master's degree in earth science. So about NCCU, we're located about 1 mile south of downtown Durham, North Carolina. And we have a enrollment of about 8,500 students. And when we talk about the geosciences and geography, you can kind of see what it looks like. My personal specialty is in GIS. It's basically the hardware and the software so you can make maps, but it's a lot more than making maps. I previously worked for the military where I made maps, so training maps across the United States, but we had to develop the data that went into those maps. A lot of times when we talk about geography, geography is the study of where. So we have geology, we have physical geography, we have historical geography, and we have history, which is essentially the study of time. Two of the fastest growing subjects when we talk about GIS, what I do for a living is in business geography, Where are you going to build the next McDonald's? Where are you going to build the next Lowe's? And then medical geography. And I'm recording this in late 2020, so this pandemic has a geographic nature attached to it. And so I do a lot of work these days with developing spatial databases so we can map COVID-19 incidence rates, map food deserts, map everything, a lot of medical phenomena that have spatial relationships because you can view these on a map and see patterns attached to those. So, but when we talk about this particular program, if you're currently a freshman, we've got a number of pathways that can do this, and we're going to talk about the advantages of it and the financial, stipulations attached to those. But we typically have a project timeline at Alamance or Carteret community colleges, and these can be changed depending upon the semester that you want to enter. But what I'm trying to do is just let you know about geoscience opportunities and let you know about this program because there's a lot of funding available for Alamance and Carteret community college students, so the costs attached to them aren't very much. We also have an online geoscience major. So we recently moved our program to online. So students who attend Alamance Community College or Carteret Community College, they don't have to move to the NCCU campus. And so our program is going to be offered entirely online. We typically have a core class, so your biology, chemistries, and math. Usually you're able to finish these as part of your AA or your AES program. And then we have environmental science and geography classes that are offered online through NCCU. And these are our online geoscience concentrations. So we have geology, remote sensing, geohazards, spatial statistics, theory and methods of geography. And so these are all courses that will be offered online as part of our geoscience concentration within our BS in environmental and geographic sciences at NCCU. We also participate in a number of research trips. So some of the advantages of being part of this program is that we can participate in research trips, okay, and get the hands-on experience that you can put on your resume. So we have local class field trips and speaker series. A core cohort of 20 potential and current transfer students will be selected for these kind of positive critical experiences. And we'll talk about a couple of these. Now, during the pandemic, literally all of these class trips and speaker series were canceled because in spring 2020 we went online, and in the fall 2020 we had largely hybrid and online classes. But we hope that'll be changing, changing in fall 2021. But one example of some of these field trips is that we went to Morgan State University for the Pearl Research Facility with a focus on green energy generation and water quality. So we went to Calvert Clips nuclear power plant, did water sampling in the Patuxent River, and cruised on the research vessel for laboratory exercises. Another one, we went to Tulane University and Turtle Cove Environmental Research Station outside of New Orleans to look for wetland loss with potential participation in wetland restoration projects. And then another one was Palo Duro Canyon in northern Texas. And these are part of summer research trips that students can participate in. Uh, in in the summer, we offer a Geography 4950, which is a field mapping class, which provides opportunities for transfer students to meet current NCCU majors and earth science students in the department. And it's a week-long, 3-credit class where we can do field mapping. We've done this in the past at Spurl Conservation Park and a 100-acre education community outreach farm on the Albemarle Sound, where students work in the classroom, they develop a project, they go out there. Previously, we used a drone to go and map the entire 100-acre plot, and then we come back to campus and process the data, all within a week. And so you can see some examples, Turtle Cove, which is a little bit northwest of New Orleans, and this is some of the work that some of our students have done in the past. This was talking about wildlife restoration. So we're talking about the effects of, wildlife and wetlands restoration. And so you can see some of our students and faculty out here. This is the Pearl Research Institute at Morgan State. This is Calvert Cliffs nuclear power plant. And so they were looking at the impact of the power plant or the existence of the power plant on air and water quality in this particular area on the Patuxent River. And so you can see students here. I went on this particular trip. This is La Jolla Native American Reservation out in rural San Diego County, California. And we took about 17 students and we installed solar panels on Native American reservation in this rural San Diego County. So this was really, this was a really great experience for me. And we were able to meet with the people and they kind of talked about their traditions. And, they hosted us for dinner. It was a really good experience, a good cultural experience for us and the students, and a good experience to, you know, get out of North Carolina and see some of the, see the way that other people live. This is an example of the summer field mapping class. So we had students, they went and camped for a couple of days where we mapped, used the drone to go and map this 100-acre plot on the Albemarle Sound. So these are some of the field experiences that we have. And so our faculty work hard to get these kind of hands-on experiences that you can put on your resume when you enter the field. Now, when we talk about available funds for NC transfer students that transfer into our program, there's funding for Alamance Community College and Carteret Community College at the discretion of ACC. So as part of this grant, Alamance Community College and Carteret Community College were given money to fund students while they're still students in their AA or AS programs. We also have reduced tuition costs for the online program. And then we have a $1,000 stipend for summer classes. And then you also receive a stipend in your junior year after transferring over. And as I already mentioned, there's travels to conferences, workshops, training activities for students that participate in the program. And then also, maybe you know about this, but there's GPA-based community college transfer scholarships that cover 4 consecutive semesters after your enrollment at NCCU that go up to $3,000 a year. Now, I'm going to talk about a couple of success stories, and in particular, we'll talk about a couple of Alamance Community College success stories. This is Corey. I think he currently is a Mebane resident, but he received his AS from Alamance Community College in spring 2017, and he got into GIS. He didn't know what GIS was, but he got into GIS when he entered our BS program. And in 2018, he interned at Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute. That's a prestigious institute up in Massachusetts. And basically, he took paper maps, old paper maps of sea surface temperature and currents, and he put them into digital format. It was a little bit of a tedious process, but he was able to look at things like change detection and how the temperatures of the ocean had changed over months and years as it relates to patterns of migration. He served as a teaching assistant for my personal classes in the spring and fall of 2018, and he graduated in 3 semesters. He graduated with a BS in Environmental and Geospatial Sciences from NCCU in fall of 2018, and he currently works as a GIS specialist for the city of Durham. He began that work in late January, early February 2019. He had a short internship with Wake County starting in December after he graduated, and he currently works there. So it's been almost 2 years. I've seen him at conferences before, and he's doing really well, and he just still lives in Mebane, but he got his start at Alamance Community College. And this is just a quote that he had here. His experiences at NCCU prepared me for the workforce through great classes, teachers, internships. He didn't even know what GIS was when he started, and he was eventually hired by the city of Durham within days of graduating. I have a YouTube page here, and I'll articulate this later, but you can go to these and you can see videos by Corey at presentations, Corey and others at other places. I'm going to play it here. This is Catherine. She was a former Hillsborough resident. She earned her associates from Alamance Community College in fall of 2016. She interned with Person County in the summer of 2017. She collected trail data, published maps, and pictures online. There's a web-based mapping application called ArcGIS Online or Story Maps where you can go and collect data in the field and put that onto the web, tying pictures together. And Person County was interested in that, and that's what she did for them in the summer of 2017. She also did work on drone-related projects. She worked on a project with me where we collected drone laws for municipalities and counties throughout the state, and we brought that into a database. And then she graduated with her BS in Environmental and Geographic Sciences in fall of 2018, and she began work with the National Park Service in Eastern Tennessee in spring 2019. And these are some of the work that She did. She did an assessment of GIS data used in the study of food deserts for Orange County, over where she lived. And this is the map that we made for the NCDOT. So we made a map of UAS or drone loss, and basically what she did was she liked working outside. She kind of figured out what she liked to do and what she didn't like to do. And so she had a really good experience, and these are just a couple of the success stories that we had at Alamance Community College. These are a couple of other success stories that I'll mention. This is Richard Matamuri. He came here for our master's program. He did work on food deserts, and my personal work is on food deserts, data quality, geospatial data development. But he interned with Esri Charlotte in summer of 2017, and Esri is the people who make GIS software. But he currently works as a business and market strategy analyst for Lowe's based in Charlotte. So when they figure out where we're going to build the next Lowe's, where are they going to build, where are they going to shut down the next Lowe's, he's one of the people that figure that out. And he does a lot of work with data. And a lot of times when we talk about geography, these days geography isn't really memorizing countries and capitals and figuring out the highest and the lowest. It's working with geographic data. So some of these data that you might have seen with Catherine here, where we're looking at Orange County stores and distances and incomes, Richard works intimately with these data to figure out, income and economics and demographics and where Lowe's can build stores that kind of fit into that particular socioeconomic profile that dictate that. And he works really hard and he works really well with data and all of the many data sources out there. Hylia is another former student. She graduated with her BS in environmental science. And so our bachelor's program has three different prongs or three different concentrations. I talked about the geoscience, which is your GIS, earth science, geology, climatology, but we also have environmental science. Science is the study of society's impact on the environment. So it elicits a little bit more of chemistry, biology, changes in water quality and air quality. And Hylia was one of our graduates who finished in 2017, but she interned at NASCAR and UPS as a sustainability intern, and she currently works as a energy program specialist for the Office of Sustainability and Climate Change in Honolulu, Hawaii. So these are just a couple of our former students who are out in the world doing some really good things. In terms of outreach, we've got Instagram, we've got YouTube, we've got Facebook. So we have an Instagram where I post on a regular basis. So you can follow us. So if we have any programs, we have any opportunities, I post internship opportunities there, as well with our YouTube page. And I'm always posting tutorials for my classes, but I also post happenings. What's going on? Did we have some visitors? Did we have interesting programs? And you can see, down here, we've got some students talking about their prior projects. So these are all students who came into our program not knowing much about geography, environmental science, who've gone on to do some great things. When I talk about careers in environmental and geographic sciences, it transcends a lot of different fields. We have city planners, urban planners, town planners, GIS specialists. Pretty much every town or every city has a GIS specialist to map crime, school districts, parcels. City of Durham probably employs about 10 or 15 GIS specialists. City of Greensboro employs a little bit more. City of Burlington probably employs a few GIS specialists to keep track of the parcels, keep track of the crime. There are a lot of opportunities there. Remote sensing, and as I alluded to before, medical geographers are quickly growing fields, retail geographers, but environmental scientists, demographers. Richard, who I talked about before, he's part demographer because he wants to map where income is, where people are. A crime analyst, which pretty much every town needs, water quality testing or health inspectors. These are all fields that you can get into through our program. And so maybe you'll be able to use a drone so you can check on utilities. We have a former student graduated in 2016. He does utility mapping, mapping all of the utilities throughout Wake County. Green energy and sustainability is what Hylia does. And then Greensboro Watershed Trail. So these are all the trails. So we need someone to keep these trails and keep these updated. So making maps essentially. And then, like I said before, parcels. So this parcel mapping. So we have this parcel map here and this is over here in Guilford County, and all the information collected about these. So when these things change hands or sold or split, we have information attached to those that need to be changed and updated. And then we all use GIS, okay? We all use, maps, and so you can see examples of maps. So all the data that go into decisions, whether our driving directions or typing in Bank of America, and this is the North Carolina Sex Offender Registry. And so these are all geographic in nature, okay? And that elicit the skills that you'll learn in the Department of Environmental, Earth, and Geospatial Sciences. Other things like environmental justice, which involves the fair treatment and of meaningful involvement of all people in the development, implementation, enforcement of environmental laws, regulations, and policies. You might have heard about this in Alamance County. They're building a mine in southern Alamance County down in Snow Camp. So it combines facets of geography, environmental science, environmental health. This personally resonates with me because they're building the mine right next to where my parents live. So I've gone out there with my drone to see, well, what's going on over there to see if it's impacting, groundwater, air quality, water quality, and all of these other things that it shouldn't be doing for the people in Snow Camp. Now, some quick facts about some of the fields in the geosciences. We have atmospheric scientists, meteorologists. So you can see some of the pay from the uh, Bureau of Labor Management, BLM statistics. For surveying and mapping technicians, GIS that I've talked about before. The average pay or the median pay for geographers and cartographers and photogrammetrists. Photogrammetrists, just a fancy word for people who make measurements from satellite and drone and aerial photography. And we have two former students who work over at the NCDOT in the photogrammetry unit. And they did internships with the NCDOT, summer internships with the NCDOT that led to full-time employment over there. But you can see that cartographers and photogrammetrists they're growing at much faster rates. Okay, geoscientists we talked about before, they're growing at much faster rates. Okay, conservation scientists, it's still growing a little bit. This particular one is a little bit slower, but you can see how much faster, environmental, earth, and geospatial sciences are growing for that pressing need. Here's just a couple examples that I looked at recently. This is one physical scientist, environmental physical scientist at a number of Air Force bases throughout the country. And you can see the salary. You can look at this is one for Circle K. This is an environmental scientist. Analyze data from internal and external sources to trend environmental compliance. So this is a little bit more on our environmental science side of things. So these are just some jobs out there. This is from the Department of Insurance. I thought this was kind of interesting. The crime analyst with the North Carolina Department of Insurance, where generates detailed cartographically accurate maps using GIS. You would think Department of Insurance crime analyst has nothing to do with GIS. It does. Being able to manage spatial data, being able to manage geographic data in all different forms so that maybe we can map it. So we can look for crime hotspots, areas where there's lots of crime compared to areas which are cold spots where there's less crime. And so these elicit the skills and within my personal skill set, but they also elicit the skills within a lot of the subjects covered in this grant program. This is a community planner here over in Wake County. This is a GIS specialist. Okay. And then some of the skills here that we do talk about that you'll need as you enter the workforce, because even though you get a degree, well, you'll need to have maybe strong written and oral and written communication skills, being able to work independently, manage time, maybe work with a team, work with minimal direction to complete tasks and solve problems. That's really important. And so we talk about the technical skills, but you also need the soft skills in order to get these types of jobs. And I think through this program, and through some of the opportunities, not only do we provide you with the technical skills, but also the soft skills in terms of data management, project management, working with others, working independently, providing feedback, accepting feedback, and figuring out a way to solve these really, really big problems. One thing that I do talk about where to get started with any type of job is current internship opportunities. Right now, there's the North Carolina internship program. I'm recording this in December 2020. This program usually closes in early January, but you can see the link down below, and you can go to, if you see this in 2021, this will also be available in 2022. But there's about 100 of these internship programs for all college students, just not four-year students. Involve GIS to manage real estate, or summer travel counselor, or box turtle tagging, or bacteria monitoring. So to me, in order to get your foot into the workforce, get an internship. Okay, it provides you with the real world skills that you'll see out in the workforce to figure out what you like and maybe what you don't like. There's another one through the HBCU MSI internship program. So if you do matriculate at NCCU, you kind of fast tracked for some of these HBCU MSI internships. They pay pretty well for a summer internship, about $12, $13 an hour. And NCCU students have had great success with this program in the past. I've mentioned two students that were photogrammetrists. Basically, they got this NCDOT internship that turned right into jobs following the following summer, or following their summer internship. So nonetheless, if you have any questions, my name's Tim Mulrooney. This is my email address, tmulroon@nccu.edu, and I'm helping to facilitate this program on behalf of Alamance Community College. And our contacts at Alamance Community College, if you're interested in starting the program there, in addition to contacting me, Mr. Shirley, who helps, Dr. Shirley, who helps coordinate all the transfer programs at Alamance, that's his email address. And our grant administrator, Scott Duran, he's also part of this program. If you happen to see this and are attend Carteret Community College, um, Tracy Mancini over at Carteret, she's the facilitator over at Carteret Community College. So in conclusion, we've got a lot of great programs, a lot of transfer opportunities. We're looking to give away money and experiences for students transferring from Carteret Community College and Alamance Community College to NCCU. And you don't even have to show up to NCCU in person because we have a newly approved online program. So if you're interested in geosciences, GIS, environmental science, geology, mapping, all these other things, and don't know much about those, feel free to let us know if you have any questions. Go to our social media sites and feel free to ask us any questions and reach out to us. If you're a teacher of any of these students, feel free to send any of your talented students, or students who have talked about these before, or students who you think might fit well into this program. Please send them our way. We'll be happy to talk to them, and we appreciate your time and attention and participation.